What's up, my peeps? It's Cynthia, aka C-Flow, and welcome to my channel, C-Flow's Reality TV Talk. On this channel, I recap and review some of my favorite reality TV shows. So today we're going to discuss Real Housewives of Atlanta, latest episode, season 14, episode 8. It is healthy glows and low blows, and low blows were definitely thrown throughout this episode, which we'll talk about later. The first scene that I absolutely loved, I had to talk about it, was with Brooklyn and Kenya. Kenya asked Brooklyn, what did you learn in school today? She said the days of the week. Lil Mama says Monday, Tuesday. Then Kenya says, I want to hear the rest or something like that. And Lil Mama said, I'm eating. I feel you, Lil Mama. Don't be asking me no questions when I'm eating. I thought that was cute. Next, we go to a little glimpse of Drop It with Drew, which I was tripping on them little puny weights that Drew was throwing up. I was like, really, girl? That ain't going to bust a grape. That ain't going to build nothing with them 3-5-pound weights. It's not like she's, 80, 90 years old, and can't push weights up. But anyway, that's no here or there. I'm still a little skeptical about the Drop It with Drew. Even after the later scenes where we see that big event, because it doesn't seem like she owns anything. She's just the face of it, but we'll talk about that a little later. Let's see. Next, we go to Sonia, and she's in the kitchen with her sister, talking about how she needs to, I think she said she's going to do a dinner, or how she needs to talk to Ross about how she really feels like she doesn't want to have another child. Even her sister agrees that she shouldn't have another child. And I guess it's because she's so busy and, I think she's trying to get business off the ground and she feels like it's not the right time. Also, she kind of talked about how Ross, her husband, has been out of town with their luxury car service, I think it's what it is, in Austin. And even though she has like pretty much her whole family living with her, she doesn't really have the support that she needs from her husband. So she kind of talks to her sister about that and just basically was like, how can you see it and Ross doesn't see it? So that was pretty interesting. Then we go to the scene where Sheree, Marlo, and Candy meet up at this, I think it's called the Sweat House. Yeah, in Atlanta. I live in the metro Atlanta area. I want to go because it looks like it was very relaxing. So Sheree shows up, and then Marlo shows up, and then the gentleman at the front desk is saying how you burn tons of calories without exercising. Then they show Sheree, which her confessional hair is like horrible. It's like Elvira on steroids. But anyway, hopefully some of y'all know who Elvira is. Sheree was like, that's a good thing that they can burn calories without exercising because them bees don't like working out, which I thought was funny. And then they start to just have on their little bathing suits or whatever to start going in the sauna. And then Candy shows up. Candy's like, I ain't messing up my hair. I'm not getting in no damn sauna. And so she proceeds to sit outside of the sauna and they proceed to have small talk. How was the acting role? And Candy talks about how she had to do I guess there's a sex scene that she does on the first day, which she was not prepared for. And then Marlo, with her messy ass, decides to jump right into, well, should we talk about what we want to talk about? And so basically Marlo and Sheree started out by saying, I thought we were close. I thought we were cool. I've been to your house. I hung out with your family. And then production shows all these pictures and things of that being a reality. But you didn't call and check on me. And then Marlo's like, yeah, it just seems like you're not there for her or for us. And so Candy's like, what the F are these heifers talking about? Which I don't blame her. And then Marlo starts talking about how she was in foster care and all this stuff. And Candy's like, I don't want to hear that ish. Like, what? Now you're going to bring up this foster care stuff. And so Marla's like, well, you had a family and all this other stuff. So you can always tell when Candy gets upset. And I can relate because it takes a lot for me to get upset. And I think that's the same way that Candy is, to where people just keep poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear. And all of a sudden you explode. So she basically says she's frustrated. In her confessional, she's like, she don't know what the hell these bees talking about. And my thing is, Candy has a family, and I understand that because I have friends. I used to be married and divorced, but I have friends who are married, a kid, have kids, and at that point, their focus is on their families and friends. I can't be calling you. They can't be calling every day. I don't expect my friends who are married and have kids to call me every day and check on me. They check on me every once in a while. That's cool. But I don't expect that because they have their own lives, and I understand that. So to me, I'm like, Marlo and Sheree need to get their own business and stop expecting people to be checking on them all the goddamn time. But anyway, I digress. And then they start hugging it out, talking to Marlo, somebody, I'll make some changes and all this other ish. But that girl ain't gonna change, as we see later on. Just frankly, Marlo's getting on my goddamn nerves. I'm sorry, my darn nerves. So let's see, did I miss anything on that? Nah. Then we switch to Sonia getting ready for preparing the dinner for her and her husband. Her mom comes in. Her mom's kind of helping her with the salmon that she's cooking, because apparently Sonia can't cook. That's pretty evident. And then her son Ducey comes in. You can tell he's a handful, so I can understand why she really doesn't want to have another child at the moment. And then you see her getting dressed and ready. She looked really pretty, set up the table and everything. Her mom and her father's gonna be watching Ducey while they have this discussion. Side note, I think Sonia's mom has that Instagram page called Ma Dukes, where you can see that she works out, she's in good shape, and it shows. And I think that's Sonia's father too, that will be in the photos and videos on Instagram. And I don't remember Sonia ever bringing that up. I believe that's them, but I'm gonna do a little more investigating. So getting back to the dinner, Ross comes in, they have a dinner. He's like blessing the food and praying that it doesn't hurt his stomach, which I thought was funny. And then Sonia gets right into it, which I was like, well, you might want to pull back a little, maybe after dinner, have this discussion. So she talks about how he is not there. She doesn't feel supported, even though she has a whole bunch of family in the house. He's like, he's trying to do stuff and provide for the family. He also talked about how she was more supportive when I don't know if he played football, whatever sport he played, that she was more supportive and ask how you doing. And she would ask how are you doing? How can I help you? And was more supportive. And he basically said he needed the same thing from her when it comes to a business perspective. Then she drops the bomb that she really doesn't feel like she wants to have another child and is wondering if he's going to have any resentment against her regarding that. And he's basically like, I don't know. Here's my take on it. I feel like maybe compromise, maybe not have a child right now. Maybe wait until you get your business off the ground and it's doing well, and you have maybe you can hire a nanny and then have a baby. That's just my take on it. It just seems too final when she says she doesn't want to have a kid. Like she says it like she doesn't want to have another kid at all, which really should be in the future. Compromise. Anyway, that was pretty much it. And then we see Sheree talking to her new project manager for She by Sheree. That's been, we've been waiting for that thing about 10, 12 years, right? 10, 12 years. We've been waiting on She by Sheree. And then, what was it, about 4 or 5 years ago, she talking about she gonna have joggers. And anyway, she talks about how she spent tens of thousands of dollars and she has all this fabric, and then just all the issues she's been having. So this project manager is like, she wants to see She by Sheree be successful. I think we all do. Especially when I saw those tights she had on that we'll discuss later with all that booty she got. Those tights were nice. I just hope they have like little tummy control, you know what I'm saying? A little support. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. She just was talking to her project manager. So hopefully she'll get something off the ground. Then we go to late archive, which it is spelled wrong, Marlo. It is. Just like, girl. So she's basically in late archive with her nephews, and they're helping her clean up the area. It looks like a really small room, doesn't it? It looks really small. And she talks to them about how she reached out to their older sister. But the boys are not close to the older sister because she lives out of town and she's, the age different. I think she said the difference. I think she said the sister is 27 years old. And basically she talked to the sister about asking her if she's visited her mom, which is Marlo's sister. And after talking with the sister, I think Marlo said that it sounds like she is going to visit your mom. So that'll be a good thing. Then we go to the candle making place, which I would love to do that. Who else would love to do that? Comment in below. But yeah, I would love to do that. So we see Candy. Who was it? Candy, Kenya, and Moneta. She seems really nice. I wonder if they're trying to make her a permanent housewife. Like maybe this is a test run or something. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. But Candy goes into how Moneta's a really good friend, real sweet person. And basically they start talking. So Candy says she was a little late for Moneta's wedding because Kenya asked Candace if she went to the wedding. And then Kenya brings up the things that Marlo said about Candy. About how Candy was trying to donate used clothes to Marlo's charity, which I thought that's kind of I don't know. That's just I mean, it's clothes. Gently used clothes. And the clothes are good to come from Candy. I didn't understand that. And then she also mentioned that Marlo was basically saying that Candy wasn't a real friend. Candy tells them, that she met up with Sheree and Marlo and how they were talking about how she's not a good friend and all that stuff. Candy's like, I'm not here for all this BS that they're doing. And she also feels like Marlo is trying to make her an enemy or have other people turn against her. And I'm trying to, I agree. I'm trying to understand why Marlo is on Candy's butt like that. Like, I don't understand it. And then they talk about the upcoming Drop It With Drew event that everyone was invited to. And they invited Moneta to attend. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So Kenya brings up the buzzing panties that Candy gave to everyone. And Kenya's still on this thing where, she thought it was wrong for her to give the panties. She tells Moneta about how other husbands' buzzers can control the panties and all this stuff. And Candace was calling out Candace, Lord Jesus, Candy. I have a niece called, her name is Candace. Candy, pretty much calls out Kenya like, girl, you pretty much last season said you wouldn't mind having sex with me. So what's up with that? Like, she's basically saying she ain't no innocent chick. You know what I'm saying? So, but then they talk about how they can agree to disagree and come back and just be cool with each other, which they did. And that's true. But the mother chicks don't know how to do that. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The funny part was when they finally had their candles made and they were smelling them, and Kenya was like, oh my God, Candy, your candle smells really good. And then Candy said, good, because it's Candy's pussy or pee. I'm gonna say pee. I died laughing. And then you could hear Candy say, now you finally was able to smell it. I thought that was hilarious. And then we get to Drop It with Drew. Ciao, that event. So I thought it was a really cool thing to have people weigh in. Although, if this is just one event or one boot camp or whatever that people are going to, why are you weighing them? I would think you would weigh people who's going to be coming consistently. But anyway, because I don't think the girls are coming consistently. They're just coming to this event. But I did like the fact that they had like Candy and Sheree and those guys and Marlo and those guys in Moneta weigh themselves so you can see that these girls are just like us. You know what I'm saying? They are just like us. Excuse the phone. So that was pretty cool. It was funny to see how their reactions were with what was on the scale, but they all look good. Who cares what the scale says? And then Marlo, I forgot to mention that Marlo, Sonia and Sheree all drive together. And as they pull up, they see the sign that says Drop It with Drew, which Marlo shades the sign and says she got that from FedEx, which I thought was hilarious. But Marlo's just a shady ass. I mean, just shady. Let's see. Sheree comes in with her She by Sheree yoga mat, her She by Sheree outfit, her She by Sheree water bottle. I mean, she had all these prototypes. It's really cool. Now, I was buying it, but oh, girl, got to get her stuff out there. Like I mentioned, those tights, I love those tights, but she gonna have to have a little tummy control for some of us. You know what I'm saying? Really cute. The stuff was really cute. So I really do hope that she gets it off the ground finally. Let's see here. Sonia, which I didn't understand, decides that she's going to talk to Ralph, of all people, about her discussion with Ross about not wanting to have another child. And Ralph is saying there's never really a good time to have a child, that they got 3 and they're busy. But it just works out. But, to Sonia's point, he's like, just do it. But she's like, what about my needs? And what about what I want to do and all that stuff? So, yeah, hopefully they'll come to an agreement. So Candy lets Marlo know that she pretty much ignored her when she first came in, because Marlo's like, hey, Candy. Candy's like, oh, you gonna talk to me now? I mean, Candy was just calling her out. I guess because she's tired of her BS. She's tired of her BS, and I am too, basically. Then they get ready to start Drop It with Drew. They start showing these exercises, which toward the end, Sonia says this seems like a little advanced from some people who may be beginners. And I agree that was a bit much, but whatever. Let's see. Todd gets a phone call and tells Candy, we got to go. Tell her to grab her stuff. They run out. Everyone's looking like, what's going on? They're nosy. They run outside to find out what's going on. And basically, the person, I don't remember the person's name, that's watching their kids, called and said there was a guy who basically was sitting on their porch. So he jumped the fence and everything and was sitting on their porch. So it was an intruder. They were on the phone with the Atlanta PD. The Atlanta PD came by. I guess they grabbed the guy. They wanted to know if Candy and Todd knew the dude, because I guess the guy was saying he knew them. And then basically Todd and Candy tells everyone what was going on, and then they decide to leave and go home and check on the kids and everything. So we're in the Drop It with Drew event. Everybody's exercising, doing these crazy things. Sonia had me cracking up because she was watching, everyone was watching Drew to see how her form was with the exercises, which were horrible. Pretty much everyone had something to say about that. Kenya comes in late with a cute little outfit. I have to say, I really like Kenya this season. I've always liked Kenya, even though she could be a bit much, but I've always liked her. But this season, I really liked her. She seems like after she had cute little Brooklyn, that she's calmed down a little bit. And then let's see. Oh yeah, so Sonia talks to Drew about these moves seems a little advanced. So Drew calls over Jackie, who was her business partner, and everyone starts asking Jackie questions. Drew's kind of chiming in because I think Drew is trying to avoid any conflicts or make sure that they have the same answers pretty much. And basically we find out that Jackie had the business. Jackie had called Drew to see how she can get the business going in Atlanta. Drew became the face of it. Jackie has had this business for 5 years. Okay. She's got 6 locations. And so Drew did not start this business 5 years ago. It was just because she's in Atlanta. She's a housewife of Atlanta now. So she's the face of it. I think the original name of the program was the 21-day challenge or something like that, or boot camp or whatever. And so Kenya calls Drew out about let Jackie answer the questions. And so you could tell Drew was feeling some type of way, talking about since y'all are grilling us about me about my business or something like that. But it's not your business, girl. It's not your business. Let's see. Oh yeah, Monyetta, in Candy's absence. I'm always saying Candace because of my niece. Candy's absence brings up the issues that she heard that Marlo had with Candy. And then Marlo asked Kenya, well, did you go back and tell Candy? And Kenya was like, well, yeah, I always come with the truth or what really happened. And then the next thing you know, Kenya's like, basically, Candy ain't effing with you. To which Marlo gets upset, which I don't know what really triggered her. But then she starts going ham, just talking about Kenya, because Kenya's like, oh yeah, so Marlo's like, well, Kenya, can you show me how to be a good friend and all this stuff? And Kenya's like, you're not really a good friend. Then they start going back and forth, and Marlo is doing her tired ass shade that she does all the time. She goes after Kenya's fake booty. Then she talks about how she has skin issues. And then she's always talking about Kenya's physical appearance, which I'm like, is that all you got? Like, is that all you got? And then how she can't keep a man. But as Kenya pointed out, where's your man, Marlo? I don't think we ever saw you with a man. I think we saw you with some older white gentleman at Eva's costume party years back. It was like 3-4 years, I guess. Like you don't have a man. So why are you just blah, blah, blah at Kenya? And I like the fact that Kenya really wasn't here for it. If it were me, I'd have just looked at her and be like, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? And then walked away, which of course Kenya eventually walked away before she had her hand in Marlo's face talking about get out of my face, which I agree. You coming up on me like that, you lucky you didn't get socked. But then Monyetta pulls back Marlo. Marlo's still talking. Kenya walks out. Kenya saying stuff. I just don't understand why I think Marlo's trying so hard to keep her peach by being so aggressive to everybody. That's a good word. Marlo's being very aggressive, and it's starting to work my nerves. Let's see. Oh yeah, then Marlo tells Monyetta that she doesn't go after people's kids, which of course production goes back and talk about how she said something about Kenya's pregnancy. She doesn't talk about people's family and then production shows how Marlo was really, 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 really mean-spirited when she said even her own mama don't want her. That was years ago. So Marlo's just basically lying her ass off that she doesn't do those things that she actually does. Then we go back to Candy and Todd at the house talking to the babysitter. And they talked to PD because Atlanta PD was still there. So they briefly talked to them. Then they went into the house, checked on the kids and everything. That's just like a scary situation. Like you could tell that dude was like off because he said something about Didn't he say something about Beyonce? And then was it Beyonce? I think so. And then he said that he knew T.I., like he was just some kind of songwriter or something, but he seemed like he was off. I just know that's a scary thing, but I'm glad everybody's okay. Then we go back to Drop It with Drew. Sonya pulls Drew to the side and they pretty much squash everything. And then Sonya brings up to Drew the conflict between her and Ross about having another child. And Drew basically says the same thing that Ralph was saying, which is you have to do it for your husband. And, Sonya's like, well, what about my needs? What about, about me being happy? Because Drew kept saying, you want to make your husband happy. I'm just tripping on people are not saying anything about compromising, like, have a child later or whatever. But anyway. And lastly, we see that as Kenya's leaving, Sheree comes and gets her mat, basically, because Kenya was fiending for that mat. It was a nice mat. It matched her outfit and everything. But Sheree is so flip floppy. Is that what I want to say? Like 1 minute she's on the bandwagon with Marlo, and then the next minute she's like buddy with Kenya, even though she was backing up everything that Marlo was saying. But anyway, it's a mess. So that was the episode. It was pretty good. It was a good, eventful episode. I just wish Marlo would calm the F down. I'm just saying, because she's really getting on my nerves. I don't know about y'all. Add your thoughts in the comments. So please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button for my little channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, peace.